Hi, my name is Zibuyilens Mande. I am 21 years old. I am a facilitator at a special needs school and I am a BCom industrial psychology student. Prior to becoming a facilitator, I had pretty basic knowledge about what autism was and how it affects those who are diagnosed with it. I actually have a family member with autism, so I was able to see the challenges that they face from a very early age. Those challenges included communication and speech delay, challenges with behavior, as well as social interaction. I'd like to say that before my job, I knew about 20% of what it was, and even till today, I'm still continuously learning and wanting to learn more to understand autistic individuals much better. These are just a couple of tips that have helped me better understand the kids that I work with, and I hope that they may help you interact better with other autistic individuals. So a very important one is patience. Like I mentioned before, that autistic individuals struggle with communication, so they may take a bit longer to explain what they want or what they need or what is frustrating them at that moment, or they're feeling uncomfortable. All of these could be a bit more difficult for them to explain verbally. Some people will have certain patterns of behavior that will better explain what they want at that moment or what they're trying to get across. So it's very important to pay attention to that, and that will help you better understand them and decrease frustration in the engagement. So patience is extremely important and has been a pillar in the engagements that I've had with the kids that I work with. Next would be routine. Stick to some sort of routine and structure. Autistic kids need routine in their lives, and the minute they deter from their usual routine, they get extremely overwhelmed because they do not know what is going on. So if things are done at a certain time, keep them at that certain time. If things are done a certain way, try as much as possible to do it that way. And because it is life, if things need to change, tell them ahead of time so that they can prepare themselves for the change. If they are aware of it and they are prepared for it, they then are less anxious about the change that's coming. In relation to their love for routine, they also tend to stick to repetitive behavior. That is why when they're learning something new, it's always great to repeat it a couple of times and then they will grasp the idea. Never ever underestimate the intelligence of autistic individuals. They have an impeccable memory, are incredibly smart. It's just that the way they process information is a bit different to us neurotypical individuals. So repeating a concept, repeating an idea to them, that will then help them remember it, just like any other person. It's just a bit more with autistic kids. I think my last tip ties with my first one, with patience, and that is just to understand their triggers and what calms them down. So autistic kids or autistic individuals tend to have outbursts when they are extremely frustrated and overwhelmed. This can be too much noise, this can be a change in their routine. It really varies. So it's important for you to understand the person that you're working with, the autistic individual that you are engaging with. What are their triggers and how do they like being calmed down? It's different person to person because it is a spectrum disorder. Some like taking walks, some like crying, some like to be soothed, some like to be hugged, some like to be held. Like any other person, they just have their specific ways of being calmed down after an outburst. So it's very important just to take your time and to figure those out. These are just few don'ts that I probably haven't mentioned before. Number one is don't stare. I think that's a general consensus. Just don't stare at people, but especially autistic kids, they tend to have quirks or behaviors or talk to themselves in their own world, and they're not shy to do it. I think a lot of us talk to ourselves but behind whisper. They're not shy to do that. They'll speak to themselves in their corner. They'll act out a movie scene, a TV scene, a video game, whatever. They'll do that in their own space. But the minute you stare at them, they start feeling extremely embarrassed. They start feeling extremely ostracized, and they'll start masking. If you don't know what masking is, check out this page, they have a whole post about what masking is. So we want to avoid that as much as possible, because then they start wanting to be someone else, and it's okay to be themselves. So do not stare at their little quirks and things that they do, little antics. It's just a part of who they are, and we want to encourage that. Another don't is how you give them instruction, and I think this is mainly towards kids. So if you give instruction in a very complex way or in a very harsh tone, you'll find that they do not comprehend that properly and will then shut down or not do it at all. So if you say pick this up and then go take it there, then go do that, then go do that, go do that, they already lost you by go pick it up. Rather do it one by one. Pick this up. Once they do that, okay, now take it to the dustbin. Okay, now go do that. They respond much better when your instruction is short and clear. All of these accommodations are aimed at bettering their development, be it physically, socially, or psychologically. That will in the end that will in the end help them to be independent members of society when these accommodations may not be in place. So yeah, that is it from me. I really hope that a bit of this was insightful and that has helped you know better about autism in April, which is Autism Awareness Month. So I want to thank Snatema Disabilities for asking me just to share my experience with autism and working with autistic kids, especially during April, which is Autism Awareness Month. And I hope that it doesn't stop here. So thank you for watching and have a great day.